This next one, we're going to be creating the banana hook. So I'm going to take my scissor design, close that, save it because it looks pretty good. And this new one, I'm going to save as banana hook. And in this one, we're going to be taking something that's already been started, and we're going to make some modifications to add the base at the bottom, because right now the banana hook would fall over if you tried hanging a banana on it. So Autodesk gives us the start for this one, so we're going to go down. We're going to leave that project and go down to the libraries, basic training, double click there, sketching, and we're going to open up the banana hook. And then we can close our data panel. So notice there's some gray right here. That's a shadow because of the lighting that's set up. It's not actually part of this. So what we need to do is add something on the bottom to keep the base from falling over. So we'll get started. The first thing we're going to do is make a sketch on the bottom, not on one of the origin planes, because that would, if we drew on the origin plane, it wouldn't include the outside of this. So we'll click on the origin plane. And then what Autodesk wants you to do is kind of rotate it around so you can see the top and see what this project thing kind of does. So if you click create, you go down to project include and project. If we hover over here, you can see it's creating some red lines down on the bottom. We want this line and this line to be included down here on our sketch plane. You can also just click on the surface and it will include the outline of the surface. That includes some extra lines here. They don't hurt anything, but they're also not necessary. So if you just click on the edges, or if you just click on the face on the sides, you can get the lines that you need. Once you have them, you click OK. And so those purple lines, those were just added. In order to make this a profile, we need to close it up. It might be hard to see whether you have a profile or not because of the other part here. So we're going to use slice, which will get rid of anything that's closer to us than the sketch plane that we're working with. So if we click slice, it gets rid of everything up here. You can see we have a profile here, but it doesn't include this part. So if I make a line that connects, there we go. Now I have a profile that I can use to make the entire thing. Um, all right, so we closed off the profile. The other thing we also want to do, I want to put a fillet in here to curve this, but I can't do that because it would shorten these projected lines. Those are still locked into the original surface that we projected down. So what we need to do is select, oh, let me get out of escape because I don't want to make any more lines. I'm going to select that one, hold shift down and select this one also. And if I right click and break the link, now those lines are no longer associated with the top. They're just where they happen to be, and I can make changes to them. So the fillets are going to be 10 millimeters. So I'll click fillet and click on these two lines and then another one down here. Change that to 10 millimeters. So there's my fillet. And then it also wants us to draw these circles in here, but we're only going to draw one and then we're going to use patterns to make the rest. So here's the circle. I want it at the same place as the center of my fillet, 10 millimeters. And now we're going to use create to make rectangular patterns. So create rectangle pattern. It's important that for the objects you get the circle, not the center of the circle, because you could also make a pattern out of just the center points. So there's my object. And then I'm going to come down here. You can see there's a blue arrow to the right. I want that one to be 145 millimeters. So 145, and I want 2 in that direction. So you can see if I pull this over here, it's making 2 of them in this direction. If I put a bigger number, it would spread 5 out, or whatever number along that distance 145. I could also change extent to spacing to make them a certain distance apart. With 2 of them, it doesn't matter if you use spacing or extent, they mean the same thing. Up and down, I also want 2, and I want these to be 40 millimeters. And notice that it's making this pattern is going to put a rectangle here. So it's going to make one over this way, and here it'll make all 4 of them. Click OK. Those circles are going to be the feet. So now we're going to finish our sketch, and we want to extrude this thing. So we can do press pull, click on that profile, and also that profile. And it doesn't matter if we include the circles, but we can. If we didn't include them, we'd fill them in the next step. And I'm going to rotate it just so I can see which direction I'm going. We'll go 5 millimeters in that direction. So there's the base. Now I want to go back, grab those circles again, and just extrude the legs, but it's not here. So we're going to expand sketches and then click on the eyeball to turn the sketch back on. Now if we extrude or push pull and we start selecting the legs, and we type 10, we can see if we got them all. If any of those, if we made a mistake and we got something wrong there, you can always turn off the body. That'll make it easier to make sure that a lot easier to select the inside of these. You can see the shading better. And then turn the body back on. Tell it to go 10. And I don't want to cut, I want to join. So if we join it, then we'll get the solid pieces. There we go. And now to make it look a little nicer, we'll turn off the sketches. But here's our part. Save it. Now it won't let me do a save. We need to do a save as. So click on the arrow, save as, Bananna Hook, and I'm all set.